It's July in my garden, and it is bursting with life. There are plants everywhere. This month was much different than any other month this year. So join me as I give you a garden tour and tell you what happened in my garden and elsewhere in July. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and this is number 7 in a series that shows just exactly what's happening in my garden every month of the year. And July is normally a very busy month in my garden. It's hot, the plants are exploding, and there's just so much to do. This year, it wasn't that way. I did some traveling. In fact, I was gone for 3 weeks out of the month of July, which meant I had to do a lot of work in the beginning and a lot of work at the end to try to get my garden under control. I started the month with the annual harvest of my garlic. I had garlic in this bed since October, and it's one of those plants you have to have patience because it takes so many months. But July is the month to harvest, and it was a great harvest. I have all of the bulbs curing in my basement right now, and I'm looking forward to using them in a number of different ways. I did a late sowing of cucumber seeds at about the time I was getting ready to harvest, and those plants are looking well. But the rest of this bed where the garlic was, in just another week or two, the seeds are going in for my fall garden. I'll put my tomato transplants in the ground in June, but it's July that I do my initial pruning and trellising. So of course I did that in the first week of July. The plants were about 15 to 18 inches high, and I would cut off those lower branches, take out the suckers, and then tie them to this wire fencing as a trellis. They looked great before I went on the trip, but when I got back, this area was completely overgrown. It took a number of hours getting each of these plants under control, and they look pretty good right now, but I had to remove a lot of tomato branches to get them to look like this. This gives you an idea of what that area looked like. You can't even tell where one plant starts and another plant ends. So later today or tomorrow, this is the last project I'll be able to squeeze in July. Another task that I've spent a lot of time on at the end of July is weeding. You know that every time you go on vacation, particularly during the summer, the weeds will be out of control when you get back. And that's exactly what happened throughout my garden. On the first day back, I walked into the garden as kind of an inspection tour to see how good or bad things looked. Overall, everything looks pretty good. I had a house sitter who did a great job taking care of the plants. But most of the beds, particularly this one with the peppers, was overrun with weeds. I like using straw mulch in my beds, and this year I used a new source for that straw. It was filled with seeds. So this bed in particular had straw plants growing that were as big as the pepper plants. It took quite a while to clear out all these beds, and I still have a lot of work to do in other areas. But at least now these plants can get the light, they can get the water, and they can get the nutrients to give me the fruit that I want. You can see that my pathways are overgrown with the sunflower plants that I let naturalize and pop up everywhere, but I don't like them in the path. So later today, that's going to be one of my activities, is to clear out my paths from the weeds. In this case, the weeds are sunflowers. Before I left on the trip though, I went ahead and came to my strawberry beds to pot up some of the plants. Early July in particular is the time of year that I like to take the strawberry runners and then put them into little pots. They've been in here now for more than 3 weeks. The roots are established, so I can cut them from the runners and begin moving them into other garden areas or into my other garden so that I have even more strawberry plants. I also took the opportunity to take the strawberry runners and get more plants in my green stock. Some of them were long enough that I could move them to other areas, but for the first time this year I started using these berry cups that green stock has developed, and you just hang them on the side of the green stock and you can train the runner right into that. It creates a nice little pocket, and then I can just take the plant out and transplant it. I have a few holes in this, so that's where these plants are going to go. I mentioned my other garden, and I've shown it in videos for the last couple months. But for this July, I really didn't get much done in the other garden because so much focus was on preparing the garden before I left. August, we'll have a lot more work there. So let's go ahead and talk about that trip. I know you're wondering about it. We went to Croatia, and it's one of those countries I hadn't ever really thought about going to until it just popped up as an opportunity. And so we went for 2.5 weeks, and it was wonderful. Of course, we enjoyed the sights, we enjoyed the culture, we enjoyed the food, the people were incredible. But I did take the opportunity to focus in on gardening and gardens in Croatia. Anytime you travel to another city or state or country, I encourage that you think about gardening. Go to a garden, see how they do things their way. And on the first morning we were there, we looked out the window and saw a morning market. So we had to check it out. We saw some of what was being grown, not just by farmers, but by local gardeners who would bring a couple boxes and lay them out on a table for the locals to walk through and purchase. The tomatoes looked a little different, but they were still tomatoes. The peppers looked a little different, but they were still peppers. The fruit selection, the nut selection, the olives, the herbs, it was incredible. So that piqued my interest, and everywhere we went after that, I was looking for examples of how people were growing. Now, for most of the small towns and villages, it seemed that gardening was part of their culture. Everybody seemed to have at least a small space that they were growing some of their vegetables, some of their fruits, and especially their herbs. Now, the last part of our trip, we were part of a G Adventures local living tour, and we actually stayed with a family and saw how they did things. Had the opportunity to go in their garden to actually harvest some of what we were going to eat for dinner. And at every meal, we were eating fresh produce. That area was amazing because all of the neighbors had big gardens, but they also specialized in specific produce. So they might have a lot of olive trees to make olive oil, or they might have a vineyard to make wine, or they might have goats to make cheese. And I had the opportunity to milk a goat and to taste some of the cheese that had been made from the milk of those goats. It was fantastic. When we were in Dubrovnik, we had the opportunity to go to an island nearby. And on that island is one of the oldest botanic gardens in the world. Dubrovnik has been a center of trade for centuries. And so sailors would bring back seeds and plants, and the nobility would use those in their gardens. And on the Lokrum Island in particular, a huge garden space was set up with plants that are hundreds of years old that represent different countries from all over the world. There are plants from China, from Madagascar. There's even an entire section of cacti with plants that came from the United States, from hundreds of years ago when it was still part of Mexico. This is one of those opportunities that I took and I enjoyed, and I encourage that you take those kind of opportunities to see things that will just blow your mind. Even though it's an ancient botanic garden, it has more modern ideas like plant tags for everything. And so you could tell what the plant was and where it came from. Now, of course, the language was Croatian, but it's close enough that you can get an idea and at least be able to identify what the plant is and where it came from. Absolutely amazing. I always try to get new ideas for my garden. I'm going to be building a stone wall at the other garden, and I wasn't sure how to visualize it. Well, on that island, I saw a stone wall exactly like I want to build. So I took pictures, a little bit of video, and I'm going to use that as a basic template. One of the things I saw in multiple towns, I was amazed to see how many gardeners had a very small plot of soil, and from there arose a grapevine that then climbed up the wall to at least the second floor and then cover a trellis on that upper level. It blew my mind. I want to do that. And when I saw it in multiple locations with the same technique, I realized this is something that they've been doing for centuries. It's going to take me many years to reach that point. Maybe years from now, I'll be able to show you what I accomplished, but I want to try it. That's what's so wonderful about travel and about gardening. It's getting new ideas, what you can bring back to your garden. These apple trees behind me will be a spalliade from an idea I got from last year's trip to the UK. You can always find new things and do new things in the garden. I'm still catching up with what's happening in my garden, and yesterday I saw something exciting. As I was cutting back the overgrown tomato plants in this bed, I discovered the very first tomatoes of the season in July. July, even late July, is a little early for me to have tomatoes in my garden. It's usually about the middle of August, but in this bed, I did things differently this year. You'll see that in a future video. And it paid off by giving me the earliest harvest maybe I've ever had. I love it. Next month, there's a lot more to come. I still have a lot of cleanup, a lot of weeding, a lot of pruning, but July was a wonderful month. Not just in my garden, but of course, in some of those other gardens I had the opportunity to see. Be sure and come back next month to see how things change, to see what's different. And for sure by then, I'll have more harvests. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.